For months, he came to the diner every morning. Same booth, same black coffee, same silence. No one knew his name. No one asked. He wore a suit too clean for the place, and he never smiled. The staff called him the ghost. But one rainy Tuesday, the black waitress, Lila, slipped a note under his cup. 3 words, handwritten, and the man who had everything finally felt seen. The diner sat on the corner of a quiet street in Macon, Georgia. The kind of place where the walls are covered in old jazz records, the pancakes are thick, and the waitresses call you honey like they've known you for years. It wasn't fancy. The vinyl seats cracked with age. The coffee pot hissed like an old friend. But it was warm, and it was home to people who needed one. Lila had worked there for 10 years. She was 52, with silver-streaked braids and hands that moved with quiet grace. She wasn't just a waitress. She was a student of silence, the kind that hides grief, the kind that masks pride, the kind that comes from carrying a life too heavy to share. Then came the man in the gray suit. He arrived like a shadow, always at 7:10 a.m., ordered coffee. No food, no conversation. Sat in the back booth, opened a laptop, and typed without pause. For weeks, he didn't speak. Not to the cook, not to the cashier, not even to himself. Some thought he was a lawyer. Others said he was running from a broken life. Lila didn't guess. She watched. She noticed how he flinched when the door slammed, how he'd pause mid-sip if someone laughed too loud, how his hands trembled slightly when he reached for his wallet. He wasn't cold. He was closed, like a book sealed shut by grief. And yet, every morning, he tipped exactly $20, in cash. Always left it folded under the cup, like he didn't want to be thanked. One day, her coworker said, "That man's carrying a storm in his chest." Lila nodded. "I think he forgot how to let it rain." She didn't know his name. She didn't need to. She just knew. Everyone deserves to be seen, even the ones who hide in plain sight. Weeks passed. The man came. He worked. He left. The rhythm never changed until the day his card was declined. It wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no embarrassment. Just a quiet beep, a pause, and the cashier saying, "I'm sorry, sir. It didn't go through." He stood frozen. Not angry, not ashamed, just empty. Lila stepped in without a word. "Put it on my tab," she said. The cashier blinked. "You don't have a tab." "I do now," she smiled. "And he's part of it." He tried to protest, but she shook her head. "Everyone has a day like this. Consider it a welcome to the human race card he left without speaking." But that night, he sent a message to the diner's Facebook page. "Thank you for the coffee." And the reminder, Lila didn't respond. But the next morning, she wrote something. On a clean napkin, in her careful cursive, she wrote 3 words. "You're not invisible." She slipped it under his cup, just like always. She didn't know if he'd read it. She didn't know if it would matter. But she believed in small acts, the kind that don't make headlines but rebuild souls. That afternoon, a delivery arrived. Not for coffee, not for pastries, for books. Boxes upon boxes, children's books, STEM guides, African folk tales, biographies of Black inventors and scientists. A note was taped to the top. "For the kids who come in after school, let them dream early." The diner wasn't a school, but every afternoon a handful of children gathered in the back corner, doing homework, sipping warm milk, laughing over puzzles. Lila had started it, a tiny sanctuary of calm in a world that didn't always care. Now it had a library. A week later, a second delivery came. Laptops, refurbished but powerful, for teens who needed them for online classes. Another note. Some of us forget how far a little help can go. Still, no word from the man. Then one quiet Sunday morning, Lila arrived early to open the diner. On the counter sat a single envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. Not long, but heavy with truth. "I came here to disappear. I was a tech founder. I built something big, sold it, lost myself. I thought silence was safety. But you didn't let me hide. You saw me. Not my suit. Not my money. Me. That napkin, it didn't change my life. It gave me back a piece of it. I'm starting a foundation. Quiet, no press. It will fund small sanctuaries like this one, places where people can just be. Thank you for reminding me that kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing in the world. No name, no contact, just a signature, a simple T. Lila read it once, then again. Then she placed it in the glass case behind the counter, next to a photo of her first day. And underneath, she added a new sign. This place runs on coffee and courage. Years later, the diner is still there. The seats still creak. The rain still taps on the windows. But now there's a small bookshelf in the corner, labeled the Quiet Library. Kids come after school. Teens study for exams. Elders sip tea and tell stories. No one knows who T was, and it doesn't matter. Because the truth is, he wasn't the only one who changed that year. Lila retired, not because she had to, but because she could. She started a scholarship for single mothers in her community. The diner opened a second location, this one in a neighborhood where hope was in short supply. And every morning, a new waitress places a fresh napkin beside every black coffee, just in case someone needs to hear, "You're not invisible." This story isn't about wealth. It's not about fame. It's about the power of seeing someone, truly seeing them, and how one small act of recognition can ripple across lives. Because courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a napkin, a smile, a cup of coffee offered without judgment, and dignity. It's not in the suit you wear. It's in the choice to stay kind, even when the world has made you small. So the next time you pass someone who seems closed off, who walks like they're carrying a storm, ask yourself, what if their silence isn't coldness, but a cry for someone to notice? What if the quietest person in the room is the one who needs to be seen the most? And what if, just maybe, you're the one meant to see them? Of the ones who rise without noise, who heal without praise, who give without credit. Because real change doesn't always make headlines. It happens in diners, in schools, in hearts that choose kindness when no one is watching. So today, be the one who sees. Be the one who says, "I see you," even if it's just with a napkin, a cup, or a smile. Because sometimes that's all it takes to help someone remember they're still here and that they matter.